Do you like skids and wheelies? I do, and I love road-going supermotos. And for a long time, this KTM SMC R 690 has been my absolute favourite. But there's a new kid in town, with red paint, fancy electronics, and a little bit more horsepower. This looks very much like a two-bike test, doesn't it? And if I was a sensible road tester, I would be putting in lots of miles in all sorts of conditions on busy roads, big roads, slow roads, fast roads, getting fuel economy figures, seeing how the bikes are to live with day to day. But I'm not a sensible road tester, not by a long stretch. So what I'm going to do is invent my own competition of skids, wheelies, jumps, backing in and hooning around, and use that to decide which is my favourite, 690 KTM or the new Ducati Hypermotard. Today is going to be amazing. Ding ding, round one. It's all about the riding with these bikes, but we will kick off with a little bit of Supermoto top trumps. In the red corner, we've got the Ducati with more horsepower, pretty much the same weight, and a whole host more electronics. The KTM is about 4 horsepower down and definitely loses out a little bit in terms of the fancy kit the Ducati has. We're talking about the backing in control, the wheelie control, and the slightly higher tech dash. So I'm going to give round one to the bike in red and black. It's the Ducati. As we're going to be hooning around and having a bit of fun today, there are 2 bits of bike prep we need to do. One, we get rid of these. I'm only going to break them, so we might as well take them off in advance. And secondly, my least favourite thing, rubber inserts in the footrests. Fixed, ready for action. So this is the granddaddy. Effectively, this is the Supermoto that we've had for years. KTM's gradually been refining it, improving it, giving it a little bit more smooth throttle control, a little bit more tech, but really not a lot of tech on this one. And what they've ended up with is a really usable, really fun Supermoto. I absolutely loved it. I have to say, I really like the new colours as well, these new matte blue graphics with the kind of graffiti stuff on them. I think it suits the bike. I've done a lot of riding on these from when the very first 690 SMC R came out. Been on launches of them over the years. I've ridden the gas version, the Husqvarna version. I've raced it. I've crashed one a long time ago. I've always loved a good stunt on this. Yeah, it doesn't need to be said, I absolutely adore the SMC R 690. Straight away, it's interesting, despite the fact that these are 2 bikes from 2 different manufacturers in 2 different countries, there's a similarity between this and the KTM. They both weigh about the same, they both make similar power. This makes more power, KTM makes more torque, but they're both sort of almost 700cc-ish single cylinder supermotos. They feel similar. When you just jump between the 2 of them, you're like, yep. But definitely from the same family of bikes. Immediately this one does feel more sports bike, more roady, which again shouldn't be a surprise that Ducati made one that feel more like a sports bike. That's what they do. But the big Brembo superbike style levers, even the way the leg guards are, the rad guards are between your legs, the seat, all of it, the suspension feels kind of firmer, like the dampian's wound up tighter as standard. This definitely has a a sports bike feel, and in the way you get on this and immediately you want to charge up and down the gearbox and barrel into corners, you get on the KTM and you immediately want to do skids and jumps. That's the straight away, that's the feeling I'm getting. Good little backy innie spot there. I like this sign. It says danger, moving target, but it's also it's also a good jump. They think of everything. Oh look, another one. they really do have everything here. Right, competition number 2, and arguably the most important one, wheelie time. So 3 wheelies, 1 sit down wheelie, 1 stand up wheelie, and then 1 first gear as slow as I can do, as high as I can do type of wheelie. So the first 2 are just out and out fun, and the third one is a little bit about how easy the bike is to control at slow speed. See, there's science, it's not just goofing around. Okay, wheelie competition. Let's start with a nice sat down wheelie. Alright, time for a stand-up wheelie, I reckon. Oh, that's lovely, that! Bit of one leg off. Right, now the finale. First gear slow wheelie. That wasn't very slow, Chris. Not bad at all. One thing I did do there, you can see in that slow wheelie, I was quite fighting the bike quite a bit. I changed the throttle response from sport or high to medium, which again, one thing in the Ducati is very easy to do, is to fiddle with all that stuff. So just made the throttle response less aggressive. I definitely was more comfortable doing that slow wheelie. I'm going to practice some slow wheelies and control a bit more, but let's give the KTM a go and see how that is. KTM! Oh, you beauty! Okay, time for a nice couple of slow controlled wheelies. Does feel easier. I'm still not very good at them. Yeah, that's better. Definitely can do it better on this. Well, that's a tricky one to call that, because the Ducati with its bigger power was a little bit better at the third gear wheelies, I felt. But when it came to doing deliberate, slow controlled wheelies, I was definitely more comfortable on the KTM. And I have ridden this a lot, so I tried to spend a lot of time on the Ducati to get that feeling. But yeah, this has the edge at that slow control. I'm going to say it's probably because of the engine and the way it makes its power. KTM squeaks a win, but only just. One thing that makes Supermoto stand out from other road bikes is their ability to do jumps. Maybe not important to everyone, but whether it's a humpback bridge, a random set of stairs in a car park, or a weird wedge of concrete in the middle of a field, jumps are awesome fun, and you've got to check out which one's better. It's all this important testing, you don't get this elsewhere. I love how I'm trying to justify this to myself with each one. Now, we're going to do a silly jump off this concrete wedge, first on the KTM, then on a Ducati. Let's go. Here we go. This thing is stupid. You shouldn't be able to do this on a road bike. Oh, I love it. That is a harsh impact on the way up and the way down. It's funny though. Right, tag, you're it, Ducati. Have a little go on Big Red. Woohoo! Not bad. Not bad. Oh. Yep, I like Supermotos a lot. That one, weirdly, I think the KTM felt a bit better on. The stiffer suspension on the Ducati seemed to take the impact of the ramp better, but when you ran out of suspension travel, this felt a little bit more nervous, and it just the riding position where it feels more sports bikey. The KTM feels more natural doing that stuff on. On top of that, this thing has got obviously the mag wheels, the forged cast wheels, whatever they are. The KTM spoke wheels give you a bit more confidence, which you'll see in this next clip. Lets you do bigger, stupider drops without the worry of ending up with rectangles for wheels. So, another score for the KTM. You can guess what the next test is. The all-important backing it in test. The thing that got me hooked on Supermotos in the first place was watching riders like Stefan Chambon back in the day, fully broadside, smoke off the boot, just iconic, iconic shots. I'm not going to quite get there today, but let's see which one of these is better at doing a big nasty skid into a corner. What a job I've got today. That's confused me, that has. I felt for sure that was going to be a whitewash in favour of the Ducati. But this is really good. Something about this rides lighter, if that makes sense. It's not I don't think it's a measurable thing. It's not like it feels lighter to turn. It just, something about it feels a little bit more playful, a little bit more nimble. Definitely got a bit more confidence on the front end of the Ducati. But I think it's going to have to go a slim margin of victory, but I am going to hand that to the Ducati for one reason, and that is the backing in control on the ABS system. This relies on you entirely getting it right. You've got ABS on the front tyre to help you, but it's all about your back brake, your body position, your clutch. It requires a bit more skill to get it right. The Ducati opens the door for everyone to back it in because it's got that slide control on the brakes. So by a gnat's whisker, I'm giving backing in competition to Ducati. On to the next one. Final test. Weirdly, we're kind of 2-2 at the moment, which always makes me suspicious when I'm watching other people's videos, but that is genuinely how it's fallen. Final test then is I want to say sort of a super special stage. We've got a mixture of gravel, greasy sort of slippery muddy tarmac, broken roads, some actual off-road, and then fast tarmac sections. It's all a bit of a mix of surfaces, it's all quite technical. This is a different thing to if you put these bikes head to head on a super sticky dry go-kart track, because this is about confidence, this is about feel, and about letting you get the most out of the bike, which is a different thing to outright speed. Again, that sounds like I've done something quite intelligent to make it a fair test, but really this is just the sort of nonsense I like riding on, so that's why we're racing them here. Gonna get down, fastest bike wins, send it. 3, 2, 1, go! It wheelied! The quick shift is definitely nicer. That was a much nicer first shift. Tuck the front a bit there, that was sketchy. Down the hill onto this gravel. Whoa, once it bites, it goes into the slippery bit. And then braking hard for this downhill corner. Oh, back's all over the place there. Front tucked again. Whoa, in she goes. Come on, Ducati. All right, see if I can make this corner. Just about. Right, this is the tricky one. Watch the gravel, keep it wide. Wow! Onto the dirt. Right, nice turn around here. Nice jump up the hill. Nice and smooth on the camber now. Now we're on the tarmac. Now this is Ducati territory. Wow, it's fast! Oh my god, the Ducati's got some speed! Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh my goodness! That Ducati has got some speed! Wow! 3, 2, 1, go! Woohoo! Don't blow out the first turn! Into the gravel! Oh, power wheelie there! Right, greasy through the trees now! Whoa! Sketchy down there! Nice little backy-inny corner there. Whoa, mind the gravel! Got a bit wide! Right, this one looks good, but there's loads of gravel on the inside, so you've got to take a wide line. And now we're going off onto the grass. It is technical now. And then, oh, lots of braking on there, around the point of that corner. A little bit of enduro style. On the camber, back onto the tarmac. Let's get some speed going. Bit of cornering. Wow, got some speed now. Woo! That's fast. Whoa, over the grass. Where are we going? Over the crest. Wow! And down to the finish. Woo! That I've shouted my head off in there. That was wild. I reckon this might be qualifying as top of my best days at work ever. I mean, Supermoto's awesome. 2 Supermotos, double awesome. I have had such a riot today, and it just underlines the fact for me that in terms of pure motorcycling fun, just measuring your day just on the amount of times you've been giggling, I don't think you can beat a Supermoto. They're horrendous for riding up and down the motorway, they're not that practical for commuting on, given the weather protection. They don't make that much sense, but that's the point. They are just a massive, massive laugh. And either of these two would put a huge smile on anyone's face every single time you pulled it out of the garage. Now, we did these little competitions and tests today just as a bit of a fun way to split them. In the end, it was the Ducati that pipped it, but not by much. Just on that special test, the Ducati managed a second quicker on the time compared with the KTM. Now, that lap time from the seat, from my position, definitely came on the fast open road bits. The Ducati was a little bit more twitchy, a little bit more nervous on the dodgy gravelly roads, on the grass. I definitely had 2 or 3 big front tucks on the Ducati that I never had one on the KTM. And when I did get the KTM moving around, it felt less likely that it wanted to put me on my bum. But that didn't count for enough. Once we got onto the fast tarmac, that Ducati just seemed to roar away. You could feel the extra power in that situation. Bum dyno and actual real life dyno don't always line up, but that's how it felt from my point of view, and it's just enough to pitch the Ducati as the winner of our random, pointless, head-to-head Supermoto fun test. However, both of these bikes are absolutely awesome fun and a great way to get a road-going Supermoto without all the compromises of oil changes that used to mean. I wouldn't hesitate to take either home and put it in my garage, but if I had to choose one, it's got to be the KTM for me. I like its slightly more dirt bike feel. I found it easier to do really technical controlled stuff, and if I was going to pick one to launch down flights of stairs and jump off buildings, has to be the tough KTM with its spoked wheels. Sorry Ducati, see ya!